So welcome to another video, and today I just wanted to have a chat about burnout and burning out for athletes, for runners, or for anything in life really, and you know, just getting to the point where you really can't do something anymore, or you're just too tired to, or maybe you just can't be bothered doing something, or you know, anything like that. You've lost motivation to do something really. And guys, this may sound funny, but when I first thought of talking about this topic, I automatically actually just wanted to say that there's no such thing as burning out, and you know, I really just don't think it's a thing. But I mean, the more I think about it, I think there is definitely circumstances where you can burn out, and where you will definitely burn out if you don't do things properly. I think we use the reference of burning out and just use it as saying that something you're doing is unsustainable, and you know, it is pretty much. It's just unsustainability in the long term. I'll use running as an example. If you plonk yourself with no running experience at all, and you start running and you're doing like 120-mile weeks, you know, like the same as an elite runner, you're gonna obviously burn out. You're not gonna be able to sustain that for through the long term, especially at the start. But once you get used to it, it's going to be pretty easy to you. But you know, pro athletes, they've been building up mileage for years of their life to you know, be able to do these massive mileage weeks, and they've got to the point where it is kind of sustainable for them. I mean, yeah, they have breaks, but 10 out of the 12 months of the year, they're doing like 120 miles a week, and that's fine for them. I mean, yes, they gain a little bit of weight in their off season, or the 2 months off that they have in the year, but it's not that much, and it really won't you know, hurt them in the long run. And yeah, I just think that is that really unsustainable? Like, could you say to a person who's been running for 5 years that starts doing heaps of mileage that their training is going to be unsustainable now? If the pros can do it, yet if you're an amateur runner and you've actually built up to be able to do that mileage, and you start doing the mileage of a pro, say hypothetically, does that mean you will burn out, or does that mean you will be able to do the mileage just as they do? Anyway guys, that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I really wanted to just talk about was you know, how to avoid burning out, and you know, what to do with it, or if you're afraid of it happening and stuff like that. You always got to build up your mileage slowly and not do anything too drastic, or just don't do too much exercise in general. I know us athletes, we can get really addicted really fast, and then it can become pretty addictive, and you can become like really compulsive for a day-to-day basis. And like, I remember when I was really young, I would be doing like 20 minutes of abs and core and strength training like every day or every second day, and that was just not sustainable for me as an athlete just starting and getting into running, and that was when I was just really getting into running and really having a drive to do exercise and perform at my best. And but that just wasn't sustainable because I wasn't used to it, and therefore not being used to it, I couldn't do that in the long run, and I just felt like I had to do all this exercise all at once, all the time, and it was just taking over my life. So obviously that's not sustainable, and yeah, it can be one specific day where you just say, I'm done, I'm gonna stop this, or it can be over time where you just gradually stop doing it and maybe don't really even realize. But yeah, you will eventually, it just won't be sustainable one day, and you will have to stop that. But I mean, now I've been running for like 6 years. If you ask me to do like 20 minutes of abs a day, I could probably do that because I'm used to doing the amount of exercise. But yeah, the point I'm trying to get across here is that you really just have to build up, and you have to make sure that you're used to something before you do it in large amounts and start building up. But yeah guys, I'll just give you another example because that is the best way of bringing like points across in this subject, and it's hard to do really. But diet is another massive thing. If it's not sustainable, you're gonna burn out. A lot of elite runners, a lot of elite athletes, they calorie restrict when it comes comes to their the peak performance of the season, and you know, they lose a bit of weight to get race weight. We definitely see this in the Tour de France. A lot of athletes just come into the race looking like sticks because it's like the peak race of the season, really, and you know, then as soon as it's over, or as soon as the season is over, I should say, you know, they just gain a little bit of weight back, but often it can just be more than they started off the season with, and over time and over the seasons, this weight that they continue dropping and gaining back just increases like quite a bit, and yeah, it just gets harder and harder for the body to handle, and it can just lead to burnout, really. So, and it's always hard to know whether burnout will happen or if it's just such a delayed process sometimes, because the example with these cyclists, this could be a 9 or 10 year period where they just develop metabolic damage, and you know, it causes weight gain on them and stuff like that, and then you see them finish their pro career and they gain a lot of weight. So you know, that wouldn't be sustainable, and that's definitely not sustainable. But in running, guys, you definitely got athletes that have been in the game for such a long time, and you know, they've been running like, I don't know, sometimes 100 miles a week, week in, week out for years, and I mean like 9-10 years and stuff like that, and these guys haven't burnt out, and they're still performing at their best, really. And you could say it's drugs or something like that, but really it's just a large portion of it is dedication and wanting to do something every day, and just being really enthusiastic about it. And I think a good example of this is Sage Canaday. He's probably been doing around 80 to 90 miles a week ever since he was in like senior high school and then college, and now he's like a really experienced runner, and he's been doing like 100 miles a week for the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, and you know, that's not really a burnout because nothing's happened to him yet, and I don't believe it will. And even if you stopped running one day, I don't think there would be any you know, side effects of all the things you've done in the years, and just being healthy, because you know, you've built up to it, and you're just so used to something that it doesn't really take a large effect to your body. I don't think he's gonna burn out. I don't think he's experiencing any symptoms of burning out, and I just think he's so enthusiastic about it that it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's just such a good example of how we overuse the term burnout. Obviously, getting sick and getting injuries can be a side effect of burning out, but you know, what is it really? Like, I don't think a lot of runners really experience burnout. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, guys, is just like, what is burnout really? How much exercise do you actually have to do to burn out, and how inexperienced do you need to be? Because I feel we just overuse it a lot, and say, well, if that runner's doing like 120 miles a week and he's only like 18, you know, he's gonna burn out for sure. That might be true, that might not be true. This guy, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, he is a 17-year-old kid who's like in the world stage right now, and he's just crazy. Like, he's running crazy times, and you know, we don't know how many miles a week he's running, or what type of training he's doing, and how much training. But will he burn out, and is his training going to burn him out? Like, I'm sure you even know many guys or kids that you race against, and they're doing these crazy miles or something, and they're really good, but will they sustain that, and will it impair their improvement in the long run? Because honestly, guys, I don't know, and you know, I'm young myself, and I do very high mileage weeks, and I don't know if it's gonna, like, you know, impair my improvement in the long run. But I guess I'm keen to know what you guys think down below, and yeah, I just wanted to say that it's not always a bad thing if you're doing a lot, as long as your body doesn't give out, you don't get sick, you don't get injured. And there's always that line, guys. I mean, you don't see freaking 20-year-olds or anyone for that matter being doing like 200 miles a week for like years, and that's because it's just not sustainable. Even in the marathon, Kipchoge, they're not doing that high mileage weeks, because there's always a point where it always becomes quality over quantity. Because there's always going to be that point where your body can't recover any faster than it already is, and yeah, it's just always going to be, you know, the quality of stuff you can do, the faster reps, the faster runs, and all that stuff over the more running you do, pretty much. And that goes for studying even. Like, you can only do so much study until your brain really can't function and can't work properly anymore. You need sleep. And yeah, that point might be 8 hours a night of sleep, but that's not what I want us to talk about. But yeah, guys, I've been talking for a while and haven't really got anywhere, so I'm just gonna leave it here. And I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know what you think of this subject. Is burning out really a thing? And what do you have to do to burn out? And also, if there's any future running chats that you want me to talk about, please leave them in the comments below too, and I'll definitely get to them. But also, please like the video. It helps share these videos around and get my channel out there. But also, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Regular running content every week, so please check me out if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Gosh, this video actually went nowhere. I feel like I just repeated myself like 20 times, but I'm so sorry, guys. Gee, far out. I got a maths test tomorrow, and I got a freaking you know, assessment due. I'm freaking crazy, man. I'm crazy. It's 11 o'clock at night. I don't know.
I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen. It's not available because if you try it once, you will die. Your face will melt off, and your children will weep over your exploded body.